Hey, before the video starts, are you interested in making some extra money? Why not play the stock market, where you can make on average a 7% return on the money you invest? Try the Robinhood app. Click the link in the description below to get started with a free stock just for signing up. Who doesn't love free money? Enjoy the video.
Hey everybody. Sorry about the late start here. There's a little bit of a mix-up on the post here we made, but we're getting N9ne ready here, and he should be joining any minute here. I also wanted to take a minute here just to kind of talk about, the company that we're working with here as well, is N9ne. They're a great organization. They lost their business here in the Twin Cities, and we're really grateful to see the community coming together now. They saw an outpour of love and donations to them, so they opened up the donations to everybody else. So you can see the link in our bio to go and help rebuild Lake Street, help rebuild the communities that are around here. It's really great what they're doing, and we just would really appreciate everybody there. Join us here now. Hey, how's it going?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. It's been a little while since we've gotten a chance to sit down and talk. The whole climate, everything has changed since then, but I'm glad to see you here. How's everything going over there?
Everything's all great, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm kicking it like a donkey.
No, I feel it, man, and I hope you guys are safe. I don't know where that hurricane's coming through. I don't know if that's a little bit east of you guys, I believe, though, right?
Hurricane in Kansas City? That'll be a first.
I know. Well, that's what I thought too. But it's going up. It's coming all the way up to Minnesota. They're talking about it's going to hit.
I don't know, man. I got to look at that. I've been deep. I've been trying to finish this this More Fear EP and this other one called Fear Exodus. So I've been deep in rhyme. You know what I'm sizzling?
Absolutely, and I've been seeing the clips coming from Instagram. It's been great to see you work, and it's one of the cool things about social media these days is being able to bring people into the studio with you. And Enter Fear being just recently put on here. You know, when we talked last, it was right before Enter Fear came out, and you had talked about how it was it was you entering fear and overcoming some of these fears and the stories you were telling through it.
Yes.
And I know that it wasn't intended to be for this purpose, but you know, with the 1-2 punch of things going on in America right now, how has this album kind of felt to you in terms of, you know, looking back at it and everything that you went through that led up to what's going on now?
Well, it's kind of like right on time with the fear, because that's what America's under now. You know what I'm saying? Just this humongous cloud of fear of being around each other and, you know, being at the workplace. So when I planned Enter Fear, I didn't think that we were about to enter a pandemic, a fearful pandemic. I didn't think we were about to enter a fearful lockdown without work. I didn't know that, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it fell right on time, because we were supposed to start our tour April 1st, and the album came out April 17th. So it came out right in the time.
Right.
When everything was happening. So crazy. I did not plan it like that, but it's certainly cathartic now when you listen to the music, you know?
Absolutely. Especially, I mean, the way it ends with Casey's smile is really, really incredible. incredible to think about how, sometimes things are just, they need to come out when they need to come out. And
Yes,
this was one
sir.
of those cases.
Yes, sir.
And, in diving into your music in the current state of things, you look at over the years, I mean, it's not just this album with Interfere, but you had, songs like What If It Was Me, where you're talking about not only the aspect of you growing up and that could easily happen to you, but
Yes.
the video takes the stance of also seeing you from the side of the cop. It sees,
Yes.
Cali, it sees a lot of different things, songs like Black Boy that talk about,
Yes.
your life growing up, and even once you receive fame, the way that people still perceived you. So
Yes.
what is, growing up in this industry and seeing the changes, you've seen this happen over and over again, but you've experienced it from a lot of different angles. And how has music been the thing that's allowed you to, I don't know if outlet is the right word to use, but allowed you to channel those things into your music?
So much music that I have with these messages of today in them, and I did them way back, like We Won't Go Quietly. I don't know how old that is. I don't know how old Red Byers is. Red Necro is really old. What If It Was Me? Oh yeah, Intervention. I mean, the list goes on of how many songs talk about the things that are going on right now. But like I said, it's way cathartic for myself as well. You know what I mean? Because this music is how I express my pain, how I express my pleasure, my confusion, my happiness, my sadness, you know what I'm saying? Everything, my dark side, you know what I'm saying? Without music, I'd go crazy. And I know a lot of people feel the same way,
Absolutely, man. And it is really important to be able to not only get yourself out of there, but I know that it's helped many other people in the same aspect. And like we're talking with this latest album,
Yeah.
coming out at this time, it meant something totally different to you, but people are going to see it for what it is, but also see it for the time that it came out. So, it's hard. And the other thing I wanted to talk about with you, and this kind of goes along with it, is the health and wellness side of you that's been coming out lately. And what's, especially in quarantine, this is one of the biggest things you can do, is taking care of your mental health and taking care of your body really
Yes.
goes a long way to dealing with all the stress that comes along with it. So what's some of the benefits that you saw, right in the beginning, early things that really kind of pushed you to keep going with this?
Well, it's hard. This is a hard one because you're talking to somebody that way before the quarantine, years and decades, this is my life. I have to seclude myself, and to keep from going out partying, I would grow my beard out. You know what I mean? Because I hate to be seen like this. I did hate to be seen like this.
Right.
Now I don't give two. You know what I'm saying? But this is like when the lockdown happened. I told everybody, welcome to my world. This is me. They keep me away from the crowds. I have to be away because when I go outside, I have to take pictures everywhere I go, which is love, all love, don't matter. That's a beautiful thing. But if I'm trying to get work done, I have to stay in the house. I have to do my burpees and my push-ups in the house and stuff like that. If my trainer is not open because of the lockdown, you know what I'm saying, Lynn? So I just did what I always do, man. I'm sitting here writing today. I was in the studio earlier, coming here to finish a song for tomorrow session. This is my life, man. This is my life. And the only thing that's weird about it is not being able to go to the movies. I'm a big movie goer. Not being able to go certain places at a certain time when you want to. You know what I mean? That's weird. But as far as me being secluded and kept from the crowd until the meet and greet, and then after the meet and greet, I don't see people again until I either go out to eat or right when I go on stage. You know what I'm sizzling? So I'm always kept secluded and hidden from the people. So the way I'm moving it's pretty much how I always move. You know what I mean? Because this is my job, is to stay in and brainstorm and feed my brain, keep feeding my brain with knowledge, stuff that I want to put into my music. You know what I mean? And share with everybody else. You know, because I am the vessel. You know, and, I just want to shoot it to you all, man. You know, and that's what I do.
Absolutely, and I mean, I remember you talking a while ago about, you know, when you reach that certain level of fame where, like, even going to the grocery store became like people knew you. You kind of had to hide a little bit more from the public. So maybe you've been a little bit more used to this than some other people for a little while.
Yes. That's crazy you say that, because that's crazy you say that about being too famous, because on the next EP coming after More Fear, it's called Fear Exodus. And I have a song on there called Too Famous. Becoming too famous. Still today. Becoming too famous. It's so dope. Produced by Michael Seven Summers.
Oh man! And if Seven's on it, you know it's gonna be something good. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that too. I mean, it's cool. You know, we talked a little bit about it. You know, there's all these different sides to your music, and you have the pop side to it. And I wouldn't even call it pop, but you know, the more club type of songs. You have the killer, the clown, the gang, or the gangster, the king, the clown. You know, you got these sides to you, and so it's cool to see all of it coming out in all of your music. One thing I do. What's that?
Go ahead. One thing. What?
I was gonna say one thing. I do have to have you ask this to Seth's crew next time you sit down with them, because I just was with Gotti and Yubi in Green Bay when they did a show there, and they ate at Zozo's Barbecue, was where the show was at, and so I gotta know how they felt about Zozo's compared to KC, and oh my God. And I also wanted to ask you where your favorite spot in KC to go for barbecue is.
Well, let me tell you like this. I've been. Where'd you say y'all got that pizza at Zozo's? Where is it? Where was it?
So
what city?
Green Bay.
So I've been to Green Bay for years. I've been going there for years, and I ain't heard of Zozo's. So
it only just came here.
What?
It only just came here. It was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago that it just showed up, and then it actually didn't do well there. But it's like the best barbecue that I've had in a long time.
Well, I can't knock it until I try it, but it's kind of hard trying to find barbecue that can stand up to Kansas City, because I would say I grew up raised on Gates barbecue, still eat Gates barbecue to this day. Found out about Jack Stack later on in my life. Love Jack Stack, love Smokehouse. I'm just giving you like my top. You know
sure,
what I mean?
Sure, that's fine.
Gates, Jack Stack, Smokehouse. I'd say LC's. One more.
This is where it gets hard. That last one on the list.
That last one is gonna be Joe's, Kansas City Joe's. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got to do that. You know, so people be like, "What?" Because you know, a lot of people say Q39, but you know, I don't know. I've only had it like once. The day that I was shooting "What If It Was Me" video, they brought it to the set, and that's the only time I had it. That's crazy. But there's so many more places like Zarda Barbecue that has wonderful, wonderful ribs, in my opinion. Hard to beat Jack Stack's ribs. Hard to beat. Yeah, man. I could go on forever. There's so many barbecue spots that I can go on forever, dude.
Sure, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm gonna have to check when I'm trying to get out a little bit more and travel a little bit more. And KC is top of my list to go to, because you know, I've heard KC barbecue from a lot of different people, and so I'm gonna keep that list in mind when I get there.
Yeah.
So you know, the last thing I wanted to kind of ask you before we get into quarantine questions is, you know, for Strange Music, performing is such a big part of what you guys do at Strange. Your tours, they're always real heavy. I mean, I think it was 2 years ago, you came to Minneapolis like 5 times over the course of that year. And I was there. I was at every one of them. I mean, I'm going to go always. But But you know, what's it been like without having the performing, and how do you kind of get that you know, that rush of performing in front of a crowd like Soundset or Red Rocks, where you have that feeling?
Those are the only places you get that rush. Or maybe it's something like that during sex, maybe a little bit better during sex if you really love the person. But for that stage rush, that's the only place you can really get that. You know what I mean? So I've had it for decades. They've been cheering for me since fourth grade, man, you know, on stage, you know. And I can't wait to get back out. You know what I mean? That'd be good, you know. But that rush will have to wait until I can, because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, and that's the same with being a fan and going to live shows. So so I want to jump in. So the whole podcast here, what it really is we ask these quarantine questions, and so we wanted to make these ones special for Strange Music and the Strange Music takeover that's going on here.
Okay.
So the first one is, who do you think on your label is the most likely to survive an apocalypse?
Survive in an apocalypse on my label. Out of the artist, right?
Yep, out of the artist.
Okay. I got a lot of artists. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
Survive in an apocalypse. Does weed still grow in an apocalypse?
Yeah, we'll say zombie. So weed's still growing.
Weed still grow. So that will be you know what I'm saying? Let's see, food. Would the animals be contaminated?
Animals, it depends. You could probably start cultivating your own within your city. So you could probably get fresh animals.
I'm just trying to paint the whole picture. Like, can we kill animals and still eat, or do we not kill animals and just eat plants like Dr. Sabi and electric food? Plants, or are plants dead in an apocalypse?
Yeah, I think it depends on the apocalypse, but I'm gonna say if we go zombie, because I'm talking pandemic. Well, let's say this spreads into zombified, so plants survive it. Animals, if you're kept within your confines, survive it, but it infects the population.
Okay, I have two dudes in my head. You know what I'm saying? But for both of them, weed has to be a thing. Some kind of food source. You know, we would have to be able to grow our own wherever we find our spot of refuge. Let me see. It's between JL and Gadamus.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I want to say
Gadamus, because Gadamus is older. Gadamus is older than JL. But JL, JL's more of a rebel. He's gonna put himself in line of fire, you know what I'm saying, to protect his loved ones. So people like that, like me, you know what I'm saying, we're probably gonna die in the struggle, you know what I'm saying, to try to win and try to protect our family. But it's something about Gadamus, man, that just keeps on living, dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's something about Gadamus.
That's who I was gonna pick too, and partially for that reason, but also because he seems like he plans it. He seems like he thinks things through and he plans things through, and so he would have all these strategies already built up, ready to go.
Now, not to say UB wouldn't, because UB is a brainiac as well, but UB has a young one. I see him protecting his young one and his loved ones, and he has to sacrifice himself for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Gadamus, he's grimy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, but smart at the same time and tactical. You know.
Absolutely.
And you know, that's saying that about all my artists, just like
Right.
Chris Calico and all that. But these people that will go down trying to protect their family, you know what I'm saying? When I think my son is old enough to fight, travel with him, you know what I'm sizzling? But everybody else has little children and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know? If the time is now,
Absolutely.
apocalypse. So I would say, Gadamus.
I concur with that answer.
Yeah.
So, who is a musical artist right now through quarantine that you've really been listening to, whether on the label or not?
I've been listening to a lot of Steely Dan, man.
I was not expecting that. And
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Steely Dan, and Jay Electronica's new record. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting because, you know, I grew up when I first started listening to hip hop music. It was a transition. I was a metalhead through high school, and then I first heard you. You were one of the first artists that I had heard outside of metal that I really was like, you know, it made sense. The chopper style versus the double kick drum, like I just resonated really well with it. So it's always interesting seeing your musical influences to the Doors to No and Steely Dan you can throw in there. It's just crazy to hear it all.
Steely Dan relaxes me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Peg relaxes me. You know what I'm sizzling? Like Kid Charlemagne relaxes me. You know what I'm sizzling? Like there's so many of them. Like even the Fez. You know what I'm saying? It's so funky. You know, it just it feels like yacht rock. It feels like yacht rock a lot. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'm so, you know, I'm sensitive to caffeine, so I cannot have any kind of caffeine. I don't drink coffee. I can't drink tea with caffeine, or no, I have to drink like no caffeine in tea. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm drinking, and because I'm naturally caffeine. You know what I'm saying? I'm naturally like So anything else added? Like one time I drank a whole Monster Energy drink. That shit works, boy. Because I was up for almost 3 days on tour and it killed me. And that's when I realized how sensitive I was, and I had to cut out everything that had caffeine in it, man. It was so weird.
I did the same thing with caffeine. It just totally cut it out. I'll drink teas sometimes, but like no coffee, no soda, nothing like that.
Yeah, I've talked about that so much. I forgot what I was connecting it to. The caffeine. What was I talking about?
The music. You're slowing. It slows you down. Like,
yeah. There you go. So the music, all that shit, Peg and all those songs. You know what I'm saying? Even Kenny Loggins. You know, this is it. You know what I'm saying? It feels good to me. You know what I mean? Because when I'm writing, it's you know what I'm saying? It's fucking crazy. So when I relax, I want to take my fucking edibles and just boom. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
And I mean, that kind of talks about one of the questions I had too coming up. But the next question that I have for you is, you know, we talked about health and wellness a little bit in here. Who is your label mate who is most likely to come out of quarantine with the best body and the worst body, you think?
Damn, man. That's fucked up. Anything I say may be held against me. You know,
I guess what I mean is who's got the best and worst health habits out of the crew.
Damn.
If you want to plead the fifth on this one, I'll accept it too.
If Ritz was still on the label, I'd say Ritz was, but he changed it though since he's been gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If Ritz, I done seen that dude, you know, like, you know.
Right.
I would say Ritz was gonna have the worst body, but not right now though, because he's doing well now. I heard he's been clean and everything. So hats off to Ritz. The best body is gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? The best body's gonna be me, probably.
It's just,
Nah, the best body's gonna be ISO.
yeah.
He's killing me right now. Best body's gonna be ISO. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep up with ISO.
We talked with ISO earlier on here, and he was talking a little bit about the workout routine and he really wants to get back to the gym and for gyms to open up so that he can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So then the next one that we were going to go with is and we talked a little bit, but just with all the stress of everything that's going on right now, within COVID, police brutality, the election year being here, what's one thing that you do that can really cause you to just kind of decompress and recharge yourself?
One thing that I do to recharge and decompress, what I just said. When I'm done writing, I take me what was that one I just had not too long ago? It was Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, yep.
Edible. Relax, throw some yacht rock, boom. Wake up in the morning playing The Ghost of Soulja Slim with Jay-Z and Jay Electronica, and brush my teeth. All you scared Negroes, sit down, shut up, and tell your master to come on out and deal with this. Get ready to that, you know what I'm saying? Get ready to go to the studio, pump me up, you know what I'm saying? The Ghost of Soulja Slim, Jay Electronica and Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? I love it. That's my go-to song in the morning now, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I relax, dude.
Absolutely. Hey,
now, everybody might not do edibles, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes I need to rest my brain, and that's a brain exercise. I never go over 20 milligrams, though. Never go over 20 milligrams. You know what I'm saying? 10, I can take a 5, I can take a 10. 20 is pushing it. You know what I'm saying? And I just need, I don't need it, but I like it. You know what I'm saying? It relaxes my body. It's a body massage. It's a brain massage because my brain will not turn off. Even in my sleep, I have to do some kind of mantra that makes me go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Because my brain will keep rhyming, keep writing what I went to sleep writing. It'll keep trying to remember it because I'm doing videos and I have to try to remember all these words for videos. So when it's time to do a video, like I got to do one Thursday with Joey Cool, and now I have to really go through this rhyme. It's going to be doing it in my sleep, so I have to do my little mantra and I'll fall asleep. That edible, when I don't have no more work to do, because that's the only time I can do it. I can't go outside like that or nothing. I have to be in my home.
Right.
You know, when I don't have nothing to do, and that's rare, that's what I'll do. You know what I'm saying? Relax, throw on some really smooth music.
Yeah, and it's definitely helpful. I mean, and music can do a lot of different things. I mean, some people use it to amp up, some to cool down. Like it does a lot of different stuff for you. And it's funny you mentioned like 10 milligrams. There's I don't know if you know the comedian Tom Segura, but he always talks about being 10 milligram Tommy. He's like, sometimes I just need to be like 10 milligram tech here. And
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
you just need
10 is good, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
20 you're gonna be kind of laid out, like really body massage. You know what I'm saying? I rarely do 20.
Right.
Yeah.
So the last question I have for you is, we're hoping that, everything is going to start to open up here. The world's going to start to open up a little bit, but what's one thing that you're really hoping to see change after the pandemic, and what's one thing that you're really excited to get right back into like the same routine on something?
One thing I hope that will change and get better is 100% capacity for our live shows to return, and the live show period, because this is how we connect with our fans, man. You know what I mean? There's so many people like, man, I hope I get to see you, man. I hope this don't keep it from ever happening again, Of course, we're planning virtual shows and everything, but I'm hoping that the venues. Well, I didn't like to hear that. I didn't like to hear that the place in Dallas, what's it called? It closed. They have TV show as well. What was it? Place like a garage. What is it? I forgot.
I don't know if I heard about the place down there.
Yeah, but anyway, those places are closing. You know what I mean? I want it to be to where we can start touring again, 100% capacity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard. You know, we had the Save the Stage movement here in Minnesota and Minneapolis with places like First Ave. I know you've played the Myth a bunch, and there's a lot of small venues that are closing down, unfortunately, around here as well. So it's you're hoping to see it kind of be able to stay afterwards.
Yeah, I know. You probably think I'll say something else like racism. I hope that's gone, but you know, I don't think we'll ever see that in our lifetime. So that's why I said the way we connect and the way we show love and the way we bring people together is through touring. You know what I'm sizzling? So I'm hoping that'll open back up so I can show them what togetherness is. That's what our shows show everybody because it's a melting pot.
Absolutely, and it is important to think about how people interact with each other. You know, when you talk about the whole in general, it's hard to try to see, you know, the entirety shifting. But if you can shift how people interact with one another, I think that's a very big, powerful part to it.
Totally.
So the last thing I wanted to do here is just kind of open it up to you to talk to the fans that are listening, to talk to everybody and just kind of let them know what you've got going on, what you've got coming up, and just really open it up to you to speak.
Oh, yeah. As I already said earlier, I'm working on music that's connected to the April 17th release of Interfere. I initially chose like 32 plus beats for this record, and I only used 19 or 20 maybe, counting the pre-order track, which was Feed with JL, which is crazy. I had like 12 tracks left over that are humongous, but couldn't fit on that record.
Right.
So I'm breaking them up in 6 and 6. More Fear, which I finish tomorrow. I'll do the last song tomorrow. I'm sorry, I got food in my mouth.
You're fine.
I just ate a sandwich from Schlotsky's. A turkey sandwich. You know?
Yeah.
More Fear, 6 songs. Fear Exodus, because I want, like I told you back then, I want to exit all my fears, or whatever fears I might have. You know what I'm saying? Or talking about things I won't regularly talk about, which I tackled on Interfere. So I'm steadily going, and More Fear is going to be darker. You know, for the darker fans that crying about KOD all the time. You know, so I gotta let them know that that's a part of me. So, you know, I have stories, and I'll give them to you when I find the right beats. And I found some pretty gritty beats. You know what I mean? And choosing beats for Interfere. So they're gonna get More Fear soon, and then shortly after they're gonna get Fear Exodus, and hopefully it will be a mass exodus. Well, big fears, you know what I'm saying? After that, I'll just tease this right here. I wish I could play you some of the music, but it ain't mixed yet.
Yeah.
I have a EDM EP coming out as well that I did with a DJ.
So you were actually working on the production and everything? Or were you just rapping over?
Well, the DJ / artist / producer, everything. He does everything. I just met this guy through Travis, and we just start knocking stuff out. And it's mean.
I was wondering if you were making beats now, and you were going to be an EDM DJ here. That's what I thought when he said, "I'm making an EDM album."
No, that's my son. He wants to do EDM music, and he's been doing it a lot lately. You know what I'm saying? So that's my son Dantes. That's his dream. You know, he loves Diplo like crazy. He loves that whole scene. You know what I mean? Slushy and everything.
It is neat, and it's got a lot of connections to hip hop. I mean, there used to be a festival out here called Somerset Music Festival, and it was hip hop and EDM. And I don't know if you played that one. I
sound familiar.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was out in the woods, and there was a big, there's like different campsites, and it was a really neat spot to be. So
sound like some place I was.
Yeah.
So that's what I got coming, man. I'm waiting for my next record title to hit my brain. One of them hit, but I can't do that because it would piss people off. You know what I'm saying? Because it would seem like I'm mocking religion, and I don't want to go through that again. So one title hit me, and I told Chris Calico, I was like, I can't do this, can I? And he's like, no, you cannot. You know what I'm saying? I'm such a provocateur.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody always calls me a beast lyrically. So if you got the N9ne tat on you, then you have the
Mark of the Beast. Yeah. That's classic. That's great.
Can't do it. I won't do it. So I'm gonna wait for something else to hit me. That one hit me first. I was like, I cannot play like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I can make it mean whatever I want it to mean, but the way it will be perceived by people who call me a devil worshiper will say,
right. Yeah, we got you. And it's funny.
I said, Chris Calico said, you're going to get us killed. I said, you're right. I'm not doing that.
Well,
it's a dope idea, though, right?
Yeah, I love that idea. I mean, that you're going to have people talking about, like, I'm going to go get the Mark of the Beast right now.
M.O.B., baby.
Well, it's funny. That's actually the first tattoo I got was the Eba cover art. It's one of my favorite cover arts, and so like it's just funny you mentioned that. But it also reminds me of I don't know if you're familiar with the band Lamb of God.
Yes.
The metal band them. So it's funny because they play on that a lot. Where like if you've seen the music video for Redneck, they've got a whole thing where this Christian families playing a little song to their daughter, and she goes, well, let's get some real entertainment. Oh, here's Lamb of God. That sounds good. Bring the whole thing. So definitely check that video out.
With metal and rock and roll, the Satan thing has always been there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ronnie James Dio, you know what I'm saying, created this,
Right.
So the horns, you know what I'm saying? But in our neighborhood, this means something else. You know what I'm saying? To George Clinton, this means P-Funk. You know what I'm saying? So, so many things it can mean. But when I throw it up, they're like, Jack, why you throwing up the horns? I'm like, this is my hood. Full rock and roll.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. You look at and you can even go into like, I mean, we could talk for hours on the similarities in hip hop and metal. I mean, it's part of the reason why I think I'm so deep into both genres is that, both of them have had a lot of things that have influenced my life that I've really resonated with through them. And you're starting to see those fuse a little bit more often, whether it's guys like Lil Uzi Vert that just take that like punk rock mentality and I'm going to go, riot on stage, or you got guys like Jason Allen and Fever 333 that bring hip hop into that kind of metal music, Rage Against the Machine, all that. So there's definitely a lot.
Some tech I've been doing since the beginning,
I mean, I obviously we went over this the last time I think too, and we talked about like your favorite hip hop rap or hip hop metal crossovers with Jay-Z and Linkin Park with all that, and you had mentioned that you had worked with Linkin Park in a song that never got released, but so it's. I mean, I've loved a lot of seeing those crossovers with bands that, when Jonathan Davis and you worked together was like, oh man, like I've been a Korn fan forever.
Oh man, Starting to Turn is so slept on, man. I was like, I'm gonna have to put that in a movie or something, dude, because Wither, you know what I'm saying, with Corey Taylor.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Massive,
all these guys.
You know what I'm saying?
You worked with Deftones, with
straight out the gate with Surge.
Surge.
Wow, humongous and Strangeland. You know what I mean? Like. Five Finger Death Punch, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah, I forget about that too.
I got some more rock. I got some more rock features coming. I can't really. I don't know if they want to keep it secret, but it's some good ones.
I'll be paying attention for sure.
I got some big rap features coming too.
I saw. I mean, your work with Flatbush Zombies as well. I mean, they're one of my favorite groups. And just to see you guys link up. I mean, even when you're going back to like, and it's crazy because I see you. I mean, you've worked with so many people, but it always seems like right when I need it, you come out with a song with like an artist that I really love. Like when you did Fizzles with Danny Brown, it was just a song that I was like, man, that's a track that I need to hear. Like that's a combo that I need.
Man, I've worked with so many different artists, man. It's so crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of people don't even know a song. I got a song with Wiz Khalifa, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's a song that gets overlooked so many times, and it's another one that like, I can hear the melody, I can't hear the words, but I can.
It's called "Show Me" or something. Like "Show Me" or I forgot. But it's dope. You know what I'm saying? It's dope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's got B.O.B. singing on it.
Yep. Like the studio.
They don't really hear me though. They don't really hear me though.
Yeah.
They don't really hear me. That's what it's called.
That's what it is. Yep.
They don't really see me though. They don't really see me though. Yeah, that one's huge. It's the stuff that people forget about. Like I got songs with Snoop Dogg and E40. You know what I'm saying?
CeeLo Green. Like it goes on.
Oh man, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like Gary Clark Jr. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they cross genres. The Doors.
Yeah, man. You know.
So,
Excision.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm excited to see who these features are and who the big rap features, who the big rock features are. If you can, just send me a quick snap or send me a quick DM after this.
Yeah, wait till you hear these, man. I mean, I got them in my phone, man. I could just listen to this. This is crazy.
Right.
But they belong to other people as well.
All right. Well, hey, I just wanted to say thanks again. Thanks again for catching up with us. Thanks again for sitting down, and I appreciate everything you guys have been doing, and I'm excited to see what's next.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the Change Takeover this week, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. We're looking forward. And for everybody that doesn't know, we got Chris Calico coming. We got Mackenzie. We got Mayday. We got Stevie Stone. We're also using this week to promote some of the local charities in Minneapolis here that are doing incredible things for rebuilding. And I know there's a lot going on in KC as well. So we appreciate everything that you guys have been doing with us as well.
Thank you, brother.
Yep. Have a great night.
You too.